Welcome back, everyone. We're so glad you're here. Today, we're going to learn about the enormous diversity of microorganisms and discuss the estimated number of microbial species we've found so far. Now, before we begin, let's try and answer a quick question. Stick around and you'll find out the correct answer at the end of this video. But first, what exactly is a microorganism? A microorganism is a living organism that is too small to be seen with the naked eye. No, silly! You'll need a microscope to be able to see them. Microorganisms are broken up into 7 different categories. There are
bacteria, archaea, protozoa, algae, fungi, viruses, and multicellular parasites.
Now, let's talk about each one of these categories and give some examples. Bacteria are the domain of prokaryotic organisms, characterized by peptidoglycan cell walls. Many of them cause diseases or infections. A great example of this is our favorite bacterium, Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Archaea are the domain of prokaryotic cells that lack peptidoglycan. They are primitive single-celled organisms. Some examples include halophiles, meaning salt-loving, thermophiles, meaning they thrive in extremely hot temperatures, and psychrophiles, meaning they love to live in cold temperatures. They live in some of the most extreme environments on Earth, such as extremely salty water, hot springs, and deep-sea vents. So cool! Protozoa are unicellular eukaryotic organisms that are usually chemoheterotrophic. An example of this is Plasmodium, and it's one of the microorganisms that causes the rare blood infection of malaria. Algae are photosynthetic eukaryotes. They may be unicellular, filamentous, or multicellular, but they lack the tissues found in plants. Algae is exactly what you think it is. It's that mushy green stuff that grows in the ocean. Fungus are eukaryotic, absorptive, chemoheterotrophs. Some great examples of fungi are yeast, mold, and mushrooms. Viruses are submicroscopic, parasitic, filterable agents consisting of a nucleic acid surrounded by a protein coat. Viruses are what you and your friends get sick with, like the chicken pox or the flu. These are just a few examples, but remember, there are millions of types of organisms in these categories. By this, we can already see diversity in all the different microorganisms. All of these different microbes are distinguished by lots of different characteristics, such as their cellular metabolism, physiology, and morphology, as well as their various ecological distributions, distinct genomic structure expression, and evolution. Because of all of these differences, this allows different microorganisms to live in many different environments, like the water, or the sky, or in the atmosphere, or on the ground, in the dirt, or just inside any living organism. Keep in mind that most microorganisms have a specific set of boundaries that they can tolerate if they want to survive. Many physical and chemical factors include the just right temperature, pH, salinity, and oxygen in that environment. Mycobacterium tuberculosis's diversity has allowed it to adapt and mutate over time, making it resistant to antibiotics and making it even more difficult to treat. Because of its mutation, there are hundreds of different strains of TB, allowing it to thrive in different regions of the world. In fact, in 2008, the TB virus infected 1.7 billion people. That's about 23% of the world's population. Think about the different types of environments the bacteria has evolved to grow and thrive in. Its genetic diversity when infected in an individual causes dramatic differences in symptoms to the host. Now think back to those 7 categories we reviewed at the beginning of our video. Every category contains billions of different microorganisms. Now think about all the possible adaptations and evolutions those microbes could go through ever since the Big Bang. That's a lot of organisms, right? There are 1 million times as many bacteria in the oceans as there are known stars in the universe. The number of microorganisms in a teaspoon of soil is the same number as the number of people who are currently living in Africa. Dental plaque is so densely packed with bacteria that a single gram of it is equal to the number of humans that have ever lived on Earth. There are only about 1,400 species of human pathogens known by scientists, but that's much less than 1% of the total number of microbial species on the planet. Now let's put that into some simpler terms. This is a single grain of rice. This is the total number of species on Earth. That's a lot to discover. Now let's go back to that original question from the beginning. Scientists believe that Earth is home to about 1 trillion different species of microbes, and 99.99 of them are yet to be discovered. Will you help scientists find more microorganisms? Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.